while I go live on Facebook. Be right back with you. What's going on, everybody? I'm Sami Abasad, Director of Education at T3 Live. Welcome to our new weekly video on the FANG stocks and other stocks, the hottest stocks in the country. I hope to analyze those for you and make you some money. Before I get started, just want to share this standard required disclaimer to let you know that trading is risky and that whatever we discuss today is for educational purposes only. Again, this is kind of a new video series that I'm starting to analyze the FANG companies as well as the hottest stocks out there. These we'll be looking at companies that you recognize, that you know about, right? We'll start with the FANG stocks, but before we do that, I just want to say if you find benefit in today's video, please be sure to hit the like button. Also, beneath the video, you'll see helpful links if you'd like to check them out later. I dropped a link to a webinar that I recently did titled How to Write the Perfect Trading Plan. Best webinar I've done in a long time. Be sure to check it out. A lot of good information in there. Okay, with that said, let's go ahead and switch over to the market. Market, as you can see, turned up. Now bullish. So I want to focus on the bullish plays here, and most of these are bullish. So they're sorted, I think, alphabetically for the most part. But the first ones are the FANG companies. So we'll go ahead and start with Facebook. Facebook did turn up, and then some news came out yesterday, I think, about some antitrust or something like this. Drove the stock lower. Did turn up. Not too impressed with Facebook, but it's not bearish. Let's put it this way. I'm not too impressed. That's a weekly buy setup. Pretty deep. Right? Pretty deep pullback. Broke the 20. But this is not a bearish pattern to be shorting. It's actually bullish. It's just, whether you like it enough or not. That's the question. Right? So Facebook bullish. Apple bullish above the moving average. The 20 MA and the 200 MA on the daily, the weekly, the monthly. Of course that's bullish. It's bullish. In fact, it looks like it wants to break out. We have a lot of resistance there, and it's away from the 20. I prefer to enter when the stock is at or near the 20, not when it's away. So Apple, I'm passing on, but it's pretty bullish. Okay, next on the list is Amazon, turning up, just like Facebook. Amazon, though, way under the 20. It's a flat 20 on the weekly chart. So not as good, but it's not bearish either. So 3 of the 4, the first 3 are bullish. 3 of the 5 are bullish. Netflix should be taken off the FANG, out of the FANG group. It is just no longer bullish. Netflix, as I said last week, the week before, it's all out bearish on every time frame. Daily, weekly, monthly. Of course, it'll have its bounces. I mean, it has a cult following. As soon as it turns up a little bit, people will jump on it. And then it'll have its good days, good weeks. But Netflix, there's no way. I don't see Netflix taking this out. All of this resistance out. This level here, that level. But the main resistance, the first area is here. Down at, let's say, around 385. I just don't see that happening. I don't see that happening, not now, not in the next month, not in the next year. And if that's the case, then Netflix should be really taken out of this group, because these are the market leaders. Netflix is not going to be. All right? And is bearish. Now on to the other stocks that I'd like to go over with you. I just want to tell you that retail stocks bottomed. Most likely bottomed. BBBY, Bed Bath & Beyond, looking up, but it's up a lot off the lows, not at the 20, so there's no entry here. I like maybe TLRD, Tailored Brands, more. Urban, I think, is not bad if it breaks out over the base. So I like retail stocks to go back up. All right, so BBBY I just happened to put it on the list because it's been in a 20-year bearish downtrend and a 4-year bearish downtrend. Look how bearish it's been. And I feel we have at least a short-term bottom in retail, if not a really long-term bottom in retail. BSX, hot, hot, hot. It's just super hot. Breaking out on the daily, weekly, and monthly. Love it. Okay? Boston Scientific looks higher. Another one that's not on the list that I really like, I'm looking to play myself, Excess. It's not as big as BSX. In this video, I like to cover just the really big companies, big names. I guess BBBY isn't that big after all, because it's been losing market cap. It was at $80 at the beginning of 2015 for 4 years in a row now. So that shouldn't have been on the list. So BSX, and I started to say Excess looks really good too, right? Over the base, just like BSX, but Excess is even better, in my opinion. BYND is beyond bearish at the moment. BYND is pretty bearish. I shouldn't say beyond bearish because the truth is it's still in a weekly uptrend. But as I said to room members last week, when I was asked about the buy setup, I said coming from a wide range red bar like this, negating the biggest green bar that we see on the chart, there's no going back to Beyond Meat. There's no going back. I don't mean it won't pop, it could, but is it going to challenge the prior highs and continue higher? No way, no how. Okay, I don't think so at all. Which means it's probably lower, probably, that there is a weekly buy setup. We need to see it fail first. On the daily chart, under the moving average, looks lower, but the 20 MA is meandering. It's not a nice 20 MA that's actually holding price. It's actually flat and it's going through price. So it's not really as good, but it's bearish. Roku, super hot, but look, when a stock goes climactic like this, it's only a matter of time before it collapses. Okay, this is obviously the hottest. Nothing comes close to Roku, but it's not the time to play it long. It's actually the time to start looking for it for a short entry into Roku. Will it pop next week? I believe so. Look at the hourly chart, how bullish it is. So I think we will get a pop early next week, maybe Monday, Tuesday, but I don't know how long it's gonna go for. I don't think Roku is sustainable. It's like the ENPH. Wasn't this the hottest stock ever? I played it twice. Long right here as an earnings play. Played it right here on the gap up. Got it here. Sold it the next day. Hottest stock in the world. But look, so is that sustainable? We talked about it last week. Is that on the week before? No, that's a short. That was a good short actually. Might have reached a short-term bottom, but I don't think it's going back up. So it would only be just a temporary bottom if it does take this bar out, this Friday's bar, 26.22. It might go back up a little bit and then probably lower still to $22, which is the gap fill. All right, that's 21.70. So when it goes vertical like this, look at this, vertical. Look at the monthly, up, 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 and then vertical. It becomes unsustainable. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. I can show you a dozen examples just right off the top of my mind where stocks went vertical and then now they're just dying totally. I mean, look at the ABMD. Same thing, went vertical to 450, now it's at 180. ALGN, right? And the list can go on and on and on. When they go vertical like this, they're not really, they become unsustainable. What about the NVS? Is it NVS or NVSC or something like this? NVCS? No. Hold on, NYVS? Nah, I ignore. There's another one that's going climactic at the moment. It's on one of my list of climos. Like WEC is, and it triggered already a couple of days ago. Right, see that? So something like this, but it's I don't remember the name off the top of my mind right now. Probably I can look it up. I just need to go to my spreadsheet and look that up for you. It's NVCR. See, it's NVCR. So check that out. It's another Climo that's already coming in. Like it lower. NVCS. Not as good as the ENPH was, and perhaps not as good as the Roku is going to be. So Roku is a climactic watch short. Now, I don't step in front of a moving train unless I feel it topped out. So Roku, I don't think it's topped out yet, but once it takes out a prior daily low, that would be an entry. That would constitute an entry. We'll see. I'll be watching Roku closely next week. Okay, next is gold and silver. As you know, I probably should have dropped a link to the videos that I did on gold and silver. Been bullish on gold and silver ever since they broke out at the end of May. I did a video that weekend right here. This was a weekend, May 30th, but I did it on the weekend to call the bottom on gold. I said it's a long-term play to 174 GLD. 174.50 was my target. So we're not there yet. That's 174.50. We're not there yet. But is this could this be a short-term top? Yes. It, in fact, from this entry right here, it even exceeded my own expectations. I didn't expect it to go this fast, this hard, so quickly. Right? There were two entries on it, the buy setup and then the 1, 2, 3. Okay, right here. I did two videos on it, right here and right here. Okay, to call these plays out. So some of you reached out and said thank you and left comments on YouTube saying thank you for these ideas. Great, I'm glad you benefited. Now, I do think we probably have a short-term top for sure in SLV. For sure, that's much easier to call the top on that because it's so much weaker. Right, but GLD is much harder because it's much stronger, but and it has a beautiful 45-degree 20. It never really accelerated, so this is much more difficult to call the top on it. But I think if we take this out, we already took out last week's low, so that should have been the exit. But if we take this out, we probably see a pullback to 135 or so. I'm still bullish on it long term, but this is probably a short-term top for GLD. Okay. Again, not as clear as SLV, not as clear, but I think GLD also topped out for now. How about TLT, the treasuries, 20-year treasuries? Same thing, been super bullish, right? All-time highs, but possibly a long-term top on, tough call on TLT, right? Tough call because look, when I call the top on things that accelerate, right? That don't have a rising 20 right below. So that's why this is tough. SLV, for example, accelerated. Look at this. Here's what accelerated means. You're going at 50 miles an hour and now you're going at 100 miles an hour. You start to accelerate away from the moving average. That's what sets tops. It's that extreme greed, that euphoria, so that everybody starts to rush in and there's no more buying. There's no more buyers left. So the stock, or in this case, the SLV market tops out. Okay, so the same here, but these are not as clear, the GLD and TLT. On to the next one is Twitter. Hot, hot, hot. Very, very hot. Talked about it in last week's video. Broke out already. There is a 1, 2, 3, but it's getting close to target. Almost getting close to a target, which is 47.50, I think. Well, 47.50 would be like the top. Anywhere there should be the target. So that's getting close to a target, but it's just super bullish. And then once it takes this out, then the next area would be, the next target area would be around 55, probably 53. Yeah, 53.50, right? Just super, super bullish. Twitter, love it. Okay, so that's that. The next one is WW, which is Weight Watchers. Very, very bullish for sure, but I don't think it's the right time to play it because if you look at the weekly, right at the 200, right at a little bit of consolidation there, so that's a little bit of resistance. Monthly says still higher, but that Weight Watchers is not that easy. Very bullish, just don't like the location on the weekly or the monthly, but especially the weekly chart. Last but not least is Yelp. Yelp is the most bearish on the list, probably. Yelp looks good short. Weekly is bad. Monthly is even the worst. A disaster is about to happen on Yelp. It's just waiting for one piece of news to come out, and then it'll be at $20 probably. So short, stop. Okay. So I like Yelp lower. What else? Johnson & Johnson also pretty weak, looks lower, but as I said in my First video that I did this morning, I don't like to short the name brands such as Johnson & Johnson. It didn't become Johnson & Johnson by continuously losing money for investors, right? So I don't usually like to short these, but it does look bearish, right? Again, in this video, I'm not trying to give you the swing plays for necessarily next week. I'm trying to give you the most well capitalized, most followed stocks in the country, the hottest stocks, the weakest stocks. Okay, that's what I try and do. If you have any suggestions, feel free to leave comments, and then I can address them in next week's video. But please don't send me a list of stocks you want me to analyze, because that's what I got last week. I got a bunch of emails with stocks to analyze. Happy to help, but I like to do it in the format of a video so that everybody benefits, and it's less time consuming for me than having to respond to every single email with a list of stocks to analyze. But at any rate, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Probably going to be doing this video series on maybe Thursday evening going forward, but we'll see. It's again, it's a new one, and it's the F.A.A.N.G and Friends. F.A.A.N.G and Friends, your favorite stocks analyzed. With that said, again, hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, be sure to hit the like button. I would appreciate it. Be sure to also check out some of the helpful links I dropped in the description. But until next time, this is Sami Abu Saad with T3 Live. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week. Take care, everybody.